Have you ever wondered what would happen if you fell into a black hole? It is one of the most terrifying and fascinating questions in all of science, a journey from which no one could ever return. But if somehow you could survive long enough to experience it, what would you actually see? Let's find out. Black holes are born when massive stars, far larger than our sun, collapse under their own gravity. Their cores become so dense that space itself caves in. Imagine squeezing the mass of our entire sun into a sphere only 6 kilometers wide. That's how extreme a black hole is. Its gravity is so powerful that not even light, the fastest thing in the universe, can escape. That's why they're black. Not because they absorb light like a shadow, but because they trap it forever. Astronomers call this boundary the event horizon, the point of no return. Once something crosses it, that object is gone, forever separated from the rest of the universe. Let's imagine that somehow you're floating in space, staring at a supermassive black hole, maybe the one at the center of our galaxy, Sagittarius A*. It's 4 million times more massive than the sun. You're curious. You want to get closer. At first, everything seems calm. The black hole doesn't look like a hole at all. It's surrounded by a glowing ring of light called the accretion disk, superheated gas and dust swirling at nearly the speed of light. It's beautiful and deadly. As you approach, the light around it begins to distort. The immense gravity bends space-time itself, literally curving light, so that you can see the backside of the black hole in front of you. Reality starts to break down. From your perspective, everything feels normal. But to an observer watching you from a distance, time begins to slow down. As you fall closer to the event horizon, time itself dilates due to Einstein's theory of relativity. If you were waving to your friend watching from afar, your hand would appear to move slower, your voice would stretch. Until from their point of view you'd freeze in time, forever hanging on the edge of the black hole. But from your perspective, you continue falling normally. You pass through the event horizon, and the rest of the universe fades into darkness. Crossing the event horizon feels strange, not like hitting a wall. You wouldn't feel any sudden change. But the laws of physics as we know them stop working. Inside this boundary, space and time switch roles. There's no longer any direction you can move to avoid falling deeper. The future, for you, leads only to one destination, the singularity. A singularity is a point of infinite density where gravity crushes everything, including atoms and light itself, into zero volume. It's the center of the black hole, and the end of physics as we understand it. As you move closer, something horrifying happens. Because gravity is stronger on your feet than on your head, your body begins to stretch vertically and compress horizontally. Scientists call this spaghettification. If you fell into a small black hole, the difference in gravitational pull would tear you apart long before reaching the center. But if it's a supermassive black hole like Sagittarius A*, the tidal forces near the event horizon are much gentler. You could cross it without even noticing. At least for a few seconds. You'd look up, and the entire universe would appear distorted, twisted into a halo of light. You'd see the entire history of the universe playing out before your eyes as light from distant galaxies gets bent around you. And then, everything would fade into black. Here's the mystery. No one really knows what lies beyond the singularity. Some theories suggest it's the end of space-time, where all matter is destroyed. Others propose it could be a gateway, a wormhole, connecting to another universe or a different part of our own. According to Einstein's equations, black holes could, in theory, link to white holes, cosmic opposites that expel matter instead of consuming it. But no one has ever seen one. So if you fell in, would you die or be reborn somewhere else? We don't know. Maybe we never will. To the outside world, you'd never actually disappear. Because of time dilation, you'd appear frozen just above the event horizon, slowly fading as your light becomes redder and dimmer. Eventually, you'd vanish completely, your image stretched into infinity. And the energy from your fall would be converted into heat and radiation, adding to the glow of the accretion disk. You'd become part of the black hole, your information lost forever. Or maybe not entirely lost. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest minds in physics, discovered something incredible. Black holes aren't entirely black. They slowly emit radiation, now known as Hawking radiation. Over billions of years, this causes black holes to shrink and eventually evaporate. But that raises a question. If black holes eventually disappear, What happens to everything that fell inside them? Does the information get destroyed? Or is it somehow preserved in another form? This puzzle, called the black hole information paradox, is one of the deepest mysteries in modern physics. It challenges the very foundations of quantum mechanics and relativity. Falling into a black hole wouldn't feel like falling anywhere else. Space itself would stretch around you. Stars behind you would smear into streaks of light. Time, as you know it, would slow to near stillness. And as you approach the center, physics itself collapses. Atoms disintegrate, forces merge, reality stops making sense. To you, it might feel instantaneous, like blinking out of existence. To the universe, your death might take millions of years. Some scientists have wondered, is there any way to survive falling into a black hole? Theoretically, if you could somehow avoid the singularity and enter a rotating black hole, called a Kerr black hole, you might pass through a wormhole-like tunnel. This tunnel, known as an Einstein-Rosen bridge, could theoretically lead you to another region of space or even another universe. But the gravitational forces and radiation inside would likely destroy anything that tried to pass through. Even if you survived, there's no way back. Once you enter, you're outside the known universe. Imagine looking back through the event horizon, seeing all of time and space compressed into a single point. Past, present, and future, all visible at once. Every star, every planet, every memory of existence, converging into a glowing sphere of eternity. You wouldn't just fall into darkness. You'd fall into the history of everything that ever was, and then silence. Black holes aren't just cosmic monsters. They're portals into the most extreme laws of nature, the ultimate test of physics. By studying them, we learn more about gravity, space-time, and the limits of our understanding. In 2019, humanity captured the first ever image of a black hole using the Event Horizon Telescope, a collaboration of telescopes across the globe. That orange glowing ring you've seen? It's not an artist's imagination. It's real, a photograph of the unseeable. And it proves something profound. Even in darkness, there's knowledge. Even in mystery, there's light. So, what if you fell into a black hole? You wouldn't survive. You wouldn't escape. But your atoms, your energy, your story would continue. Because in the universe, nothing is truly lost. It's only transformed. Maybe falling into a black hole isn't an ending at all. Maybe it's just another beginning. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, make sure to subscribe for more mind-bending what-if scenarios. Hit the bell icon and join me next time as we dive deeper into the mysteries of our universe, one impossible question at a time.